Barney Stinson once admitted on camera that he was pretty sure he sold a woman while traveling overseas.
At one point, I'm pretty sure I sold a woman. I didn't speak the language, but I shook a guy's hand, he gave me the keys to a Mercedes, and I left her there.
The studio audience laughed. Lily Aldrin secretly broke up a few of Ted's relationships because she didn't think those girlfriends would fit with the group long term.
Ted, I did those things to help you. You're a commitment junkie. You fall in love with these women even if they don't deserve you.
The internet has never forgiven her. Guys, if you spend 5 minutes on any How I Met Your Mother fan forum, on Reddit, on TikTok, anywhere, people still argue about this show. You'll find a fascinating pattern. Barney, a man who built an entire playbook dedicated to deceiving ladies into sleeping with him, he's beloved, legendary even.
Really? A genie comes out of it?
Only if you rub it hard enough.
But Lily, a kindergarten teacher who meddles in her friends' love lives, is treated like the villain of the entire series.
Oh, go ahead and jump. I hope you die.
So there's a meme that has been floating around the How I Met Your Mother subreddit for years now, and it shows two reactions side by side. On one side, fans looking absolutely disgusted when Lily manipulates someone. On the other side, though, those same fans cheer and laugh when Barney does the exact same thing. And over 8,000 people upvoted it. In the comment section, even more revealing than the meme itself. Because fans, they actually tried to explain why Barney's manipulation was somehow more acceptable than Lily's. So today, guys, we're going to break down this double standard because I have nothing better to do, and I'm going to figure out where it comes from. And I'm going to ask a question that might make some How I Met Your Mother fans uncomfortable. Is the Lily hatred actually about her reactions, or is it about something else entirely?
Please forgive me.
Kiss my husband? My husband? Nobody kisses my future baby daddy but me!
Now, let's start with what Barney actually did across 9 seasons of the show, because fans seem to have very selective memory about this guy, and it is time for a proper accounting, because again, I have nothing better to do. You see, Barney maintained something called the Playbook. If you're unfamiliar, this was a massive, leather-bound collection of elaborate schemes designed to trick women into sleeping with him. And y'all, these were not charming pickup lines or smooth conversation starters. These were full-blown confidence schemes that would make an actual con artist uncomfortable. He would pretend to be a different person entirely, invent fake careers, stage fake emergencies, create fake identities. In one scheme, he pretended to be losing his eyesight so a woman would feel sorry enough for him to go home with him.
I'm so sorry.
My God, you are beautiful.
Then in another one, he straight up used Ted Mosby's name and career as an architect to impress a stranger. His best friend's actual identity, stolen for a one-night stand.
Sorry, my intern had to leave.
Oh, well, that's too bad. I'm Anna, by the way.
Ted Mosby, architect.
Then there was the time Barney stole Ted's entire moving truck. Ted was trying to move in with Robin, a major relationship milestone, but Barney didn't approve, so he took every single thing Ted owned and held it hostage. Not because he had a legitimate concern, because he wanted to use the truck as a mobile hookup spot. Kinda clever, I'll give him that again. But he literally set up a bedroom inside his best friend's moving truck to bring women back to. And the show played it for laughs, because of course it did.
Can I please have my stuff back? The Commodore?
No.
Then, he once chose a building shaped like a dinosaur over Ted's entire architectural career. Ted's competitor, Sven, designed the dinosaur building, and Barney, who sat on the board that made the decision, voted against Ted. Not because Sven's design was architecturally superior, even though I do like dinosaurs, but because Barney thought working inside a building shaped like a Tyrannosaurus Rex would be, and I quote, awesome.
This is the most awesome building in the universe. There is no way this building could be more awesome.
There's a strip club in the letter N.
I did everything I could to change their minds.
I wouldn't actually do that to a friend, though. But then he lied to Ted about it afterwards, claiming he fought as hard as he could on Ted's behalf. Ted, he nearly lost his job over that decision. Then let's talk about the big romantic gesture that How I Met Your Mother fans absolutely loved. Barney's proposal to Robin. The whole thing, guys, it was an elaborate manipulation that stretched across multiple episodes. He drove Robin emotionally crazy by pretending to reject her, made her believe he was going to marry Patrice, her coworker who Robin couldn't stand, and essentially put Robin through days of emotional torture before the big reveal. Robin herself pointed out that the proposal was manipulative.
This is too far. You lied to me, manipulated me for weeks. Do you really think I could ever kiss you after that?
But the audience didn't care. They called it legendary. And then let's go back to the whole selling a woman thing, remember that? Barney confesses it almost casually, like he's remembering a funny vacation story. The audience in the studio laughed, but nobody on the internet makes Barney is problematic compilation videos about that moment. But talk about Lily hiding credit card debt, and suddenly everybody becomes a moral philosopher. Now, let's take a look at what Lily actually did, and let's be fair about this. Her biggest crime, according to the internet, was the front porch revelation in season 4. Ted discovers that Lily had been secretly interfering with his relationships for years. If she didn't think a girlfriend would work long-term with the group, she would find ways to undermine the relationship until it fell apart. She called it the front porch test. Would this person fit in when they were all old and sitting on the front porch together?
You had no right to interfere in my relationships. You got lucky, okay? You met the love of your life in a dorm hallway when you were 18. But that doesn't give you the right to play God to the rest of us mortals down here who are still looking for someone.
And yes, I will say it, I will be even here. That is genuinely messed up. Ted's love life was not Lily's to control, no matter how good her instincts were. Even if she turned out to be right about some of those girlfriends not being right for Ted, y'all, she had absolutely no business making those decisions unilaterally. I never use that word, okay? Ted was rightfully furious when he found out. And viewers, they were too. That anger is completely valid.
Whoa, settle down. Let's just settle down. Now, I have one question. What do these bad boys feel like in bed? Come on, let's go see.
Then, moving on though, there's the credit card debt situation. Lily had a serious shopping problem and racked up enormous debt that she kept hidden from Marshall for years. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars. And when the truth finally came out, Marshall had to abandon his dream of becoming an environmental lawyer and take a soul-crushing corporate job at Goliath National Bank just to dig them out of the financial hole that Lily created.
You know what? It's fine to penalize me for trying to get an education and build a career, but I will not let you deprive my beautiful wife of her dream home just because I want to...
Okay, actually, it's because of your wife's credit card debt.
Oh my God.
I mean, his entire career trajectory, it shifted. Years of his professional life redirected because Lily couldn't stop buying designer boots and couldn't bring herself to tell her husband about it. She also left Marshall to go to San Francisco in season 1, just like walked away, bye, see ya. She broke off their engagement, abandoned the man that every single viewer agrees is the nicest, most lovable character on the show, and flew across the country to pursue an art career that ultimately didn't pan out.
It was such an awful summer. I just wanted to get back here and see him.
But I thought your summer was great.
Not exactly.
When it failed, she came back to New York and essentially expected everything to go back to normal. And the painful part? Marshall took her back. No, don't do that, bro. But that's just who Marshall is, though. He's the golden retriever of fictional characters. He forgives.
We haven't really discussed whether us getting back together means us getting married, but I still wanna. Do you still wanna?
Really?
And then, in the final season, Lily pulled what might be her most frustrating move. Marshall did get his dream job after years of compromising his career for Lily's debt, for the family, for everything else. He was finally offered a position as a judge. His lifelong goal, guys, and Lily told him they were going to Italy anyway because she had already committed to an art consultant job there. When Marshall pushed back, Lily said he was being more selfish than she had ever been. Y'all, she actually said that. Apparently, she forgot about the time she left him standing in the rain holding an engagement ring.
We are going to Italy. Don't you get it? You went behind my back. You hurt me. You were more selfish than I have ever been to you.
You broke up with me and moved to San Francisco.
So, I'm going to be completely honest here, and I'm hoping you can so alongside with me. Lily did some genuinely terrible things. I'm not denying that. I never have. I never will. She was selfish. She was manipulative, and she hurt the people closest to her in ways that had real, lasting consequences on their lives. But this is where the conversation gets interesting. If you line up the actual damage done by both characters across the full run of How I Met Your Mother, Barney's list is longer. It's more severe and affected exponentially more people. His manipulations weren't limited to a group of 5. He deceived hundreds of women over the course of the show. Many of his plays, they involved sustained emotional deception that lasted hours or even days. Some of them bordered on what would legally be considered fraud or coercion, and at least one, by his own cheerful admission, may have involved something far worse than fraud. Then, after the divorce from Robin, Barry regressed completely. Barney, not Barry. He went back to his old ways, referring to the women he slept with by numbers instead of names. He didn't even learn the name of the woman who became the mother of his child. She was just number 31.
Did you get a perfect month?
Yes.
Then why are you so upset?
That last girl, number 31,
Oh, that's a pretty name. What is that, French?
she's pregnant.
Years of supposed character growth, the wedding, the vows, all of it evaporated, guys. And the show's resolution for this was having him hold his newborn daughter and suddenly become a better person. I'm talking 9 seasons of sustained emotional abuse towards women, fixed by one baby. The internet called it beautiful. Try pulling that logic with any other character and see how it lands. Then there's also something fans conveniently forget about, and that's Barney and his treatment of the people inside the group, not just strangers. He constantly hit on Lily in front of Marshall. He orchestrated an entire elaborate scheme called the Ducky Tie Bet so he could specifically see Lily's chest. He learned hibachi cooking, mastered the craft over months, all to engineer a situation where Lily would have to show him her body. This is not a harmless prank, guys. This is calculated. It's premeditated and aimed directly at someone who trusted him as a friend.
If you'll let me just see them, no touching, just looking for 1 minute.
30 seconds.
For 30 seconds in a well-lit photography studio.
In the alley.
In the alley, then we'll cancel this entire wager completely. Do we have a deal?
What if he could use this power of evil and dedication for good? Could you imagine? But continuing, why does the fandom forgive all of this, all the stuff I just mentioned? They forgive it, but crucify Lily. Well, the first and most obvious reason is Neil Patrick Harris. The man is a generational comedic talent who could probably make you laugh while you're reading your parking tickets.
I'm guessing something that explosive has to be registered with the proper authorities.
Get out of the car.
Why? Am I under arrest?
Ted, it's me, it's Barney, it's me. I need your help, I'm in trouble.
He took a character who should have been despicable on paper and made him magnetic on screen. He's like Iron Man in a way. But every terrible thing Barney did was delivered with such impeccable timing, such infectious energy, such sheer delight that audiences couldn't help but be entertained. And when a character makes you laugh, your brain does something interesting. It files their behavior under entertainment rather than moral failure. Comedy is, in many ways, a get-out-of-jail-free card for fictional characters.
I'm your rock. Oh my God, hello, strange. Hi, Barney Stinson, attorney at law. Let's talk about getting you off.
Oh, hell no!
Lily, played brilliantly by Allison Hannigan, was not given that same comedic armor by the writers. Her manipulations were written as drama. When Lily interfered with Ted's relationships, the show treated it as a serious betrayal with consequences. When she hid her debt from Marshall, it was framed as a genuine marital crisis. There were tears, there were arguments, there was real emotional weight. The writers asked audiences to take Lily's flaws seriously. They asked audiences to laugh at Barney's. Same category of behavior, guys. Completely different soundtrack, though. And that framing difference, it changes everything about how we react.
You are in the heart of bachelor country. And as a woman, you are an illegal immigrant here. Now, you could try to apply for a sex visa, but that only lasts 12 hours.
Ew.
But there is another layer here that is worth sitting with. Barney's victims were almost always strangers. Random women at McLaren's bar, those were people we never saw again. They were characters with no names, no stories, no emotional connection to the audience. They existed in the scene, they got tricked, and disappeared.
I know this sounds insane, but in order to save the planet, you need to sleep with him tonight.
What?
Sleep with Barney Stinson tonight, in whatever way he wants it.
Lily's victims were Marshall, Ted, Robin, the characters we watched for 9 years, the people we cared about.
I mean, come on, Lily. It's what you've always wanted.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things I've always wanted, and I haven't done any of them. I'm sorry. I just need to do this before settling down forever.
When you hurt a stranger on a sitcom, the audience doesn't feel it. But when you hurt Marshall Erickson, the audience takes it personally. You see what I mean? And that creates a fascinating moral illusion here. Objectively, deceiving hundreds of strangers is worse than meddling with a few friends' relationships. By almost any ethical framework that you want to apply, the scale and severity of Barney's behavior, it dwarfs Lily's. But emotionally, we, the audience, feel the smaller, closer betrayal more intensely because we know and love the people being affected. This is something called the Skyler White Effect, yo, and it absolutely applies here. In Breaking Bad, Skyler White was Walter White's wife. Walt was a methamphetamine manufacturer who poisoned a child, orchestrated multiple murders, and destroyed dozens of lives. Skyler, she tried to protect her family and pushed her back against the criminal empire that her husband was building. She was, by any rational measure, one of the most reasonable people on the show.
You're a drug dealer.
No, what? How? What?
And somehow, aside from the happy birthday scene, Skyler became one of the most hated characters in television history.
I mean, why you gotta be such a bitch? Hey.
Anna Gunn, the actress who played her, received actual death threats from fans over a fictional character whose biggest crime was telling a drug lord that maybe he should stop making drugs. And the same pattern, it repeats across TV fandoms. Women who create fiction with beloved male characters, they absorb a level of hatred that is wildly out of proportion to what they actually did. It happened with Dana Brody on Homeland. It happens in anime fandoms, in Marvel discussions, in basically every space where a woman character tells a popular male character that he's wrong. With How I Met Your Mother, the pattern fits like a suit from Barney's closet. Barney's the fun guy, the legendary one, the character that people quote at parties and put on t-shirts. Lily is the one who tells people to stop having fun.
Isn't it weird that we should run into each other like this? Both fitting together like two pieces of a very attractive puzzle.
Oh, hell no.
She's the moral compass of the group, the one who says, you should not do that. And audiences, they resent moral authority figures in comedy. They resent them even more, though, typically when those authority figures are women. And they resent them most of all when those authority figures are also deeply flawed.
Lily, you seem to be having a pretty strong reaction of losing an apartment. I wonder if it's because it reminds you of something else you lost because you couldn't commit.
But because that is the thing that makes Lily's situation uniquely frustrating. She positioned herself as the group's moral center while being one of the most morally compromised members of the group. She lectured Ted about his love life while secretly destroying it behind his back. She held Marshall to financial and emotional standards that she never applied to herself. She ran away from her own problems and then came back to judge everyone else for theirs. Now Barney, he never pretended to be a good person, not once. He knew he was terrible, and he owned it completely, enthusiastically with a catchphrase and a high five. And there is something psychologically satisfying about a character who is honestly awful versus one who is secretly awful while wearing a mask of moral superiority. The hypocrisy, it bothers us more than the actual harm. And that might be the real answer to this entire debate. It's not that Lily's manipulation was worse than Barney's. By any objective standard, it was not even close. It is that Lily's manipulation felt like a betrayal of who she presented herself to be. Barney's manipulation was just Barney being himself. We expected nothing better, so we were never disappointed. But I want to push back on the entire conversation now, because the fact that we can sit here and have a passionate debate about which fictional character's manipulation was more forgivable, while casually glossing over the fact that one of them maintained a literal handbook for emotional fraud and identity theft, it tells us something uncomfortable about how we watch television. We don't judge characters by their actions, we judge them by how their actions make us feel. Barney made us laugh, so we forgave everything. Lily made us uncomfortable, so we forgave nothing. That is not moral reasoning, that is just vibes. The How I Met Your Mother writers understood this dynamic perfectly, and honestly, they used it. They leaned into Barney's comedy and leaned into Lily's drama because they knew exactly how audiences would respond. They knew what they were doing. Barney got catchphrases and legendary musical numbers and high fives. Lily got consequences guilt trips, and the internet calling her the worst character on the show for the next decade. The writing room made a deliberate choice about who would be the lovable rogue and who would be the flawed friend everyone resents. And the fandom followed that playbook, exactly as designed. So here's something for you. The next time somebody tells you that Lily Aldrin is the worst character on How I Met Your Mother, ask them one question. What exactly did Barney do in the bracket episode? Because in that episode, a mysterious person starts sabotaging Barney's hookups, and the gang discovers it is one of the many, many women he has wronged. There are so many candidates that they literally cannot narrow it down. The sheer volume of people he hurt fills an entire bracket tournament.
This tournament will systematically narrow down which girl has the most cause to hate my guts. Last girl standing has to be the saboteur.
Absolutely not, Barney. We're not gonna make a game out of the women you've tricked into sleeping with you.
If someone can remember that episode and still think Lily breaking up a few of Ted's relationships is worse, then the double standard is not really about these two characters at all. Guys, it's about us. It's about how we watch, who we root for, and why we forgive the things that make us laugh while punishing the things that make us think. And honestly, the show kind of acknowledged this. There is a moment in the series where the gang is sitting at McLaren's bar and someone points out that if Barney wasn't their friend, if he was just some guy they heard about, they would think he was a monster. They would call the police, they would be horrified. But because they know him, because he makes them laugh, because he is their Barney, they let it slide.
He's seriously the biggest jerk on the face of the earth.
How do you know him?
Oh, he's one of my best friends.
The scene is basically the show winking at the audience and saying, yeah, you do this too. There is also something worth mentioning about how the show uses Ted as an unreliable narrator. Ted is telling the entire story to his children. Every character is filtered through his perspective. And Ted adores Barney. He genuinely loves the guy, so it is entirely possible that Barney's worst moments have been softened by Ted's retelling, while Lily's flaws, especially those that hurt Ted directly, such as the front porch manipulation, have been amplified. We are hearing Ted's version of these people, not the objective truth. And Ted has every reason to make the guy who brought fun into his life look better than the woman who secretly torpedoed his relationships. Now, y'all, that doesn't excuse Lily's behavior, but it should make us question whether we are hating a real character or hating a narrator's version of a character who wronged him. Now, I'm not saying Lily was a saint. She was genuinely frustrating at times, and that San Francisco stunt, it was brutal, guys. But if Marshall Erickson, the most forgiving man in the history of television, can make peace with who Lily is, maybe the internet should consider the possibility that a woman being flawed on a sitcom is not actually a capital offense. If you found this breakdown interesting, hit the subscribe button. I do character analysis and TV deep dives every week, and we are just getting started. Feel free to click the video on the screen for more takes on TV characters who got way more hate than they deserved. Thanks for watching, commenting, and have a good one.